I am the guardian of the river, the spirit spoke, its voice a melody that resonated with the water around. Long have I been trapped here, bound by ancient magic. Free me, and I shall grant you treasures beyond your wildest dreams. In the lush village of Soma, bordered by a vast river that whispered secrets, there lived a spirited young girl named Adia. Her heart belonged to the river, where she spent her days with her wooden fishing rod, hoping to catch the village's daily meal. But Adia wasn't just any fisher girl. She was known for her patience and the gentle way she spoke to the river as if it were an old friend. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the water, Adia spotted something she had never seen before. Amid the usual ripple of fish, there swam a creature that shimmered like liquid silver, a fish that glinted so brightly under the sunset that it seemed made of starlight rather than scales. The sight of it filled Adia with a mix of wonder and determination. She thought, "This fish, so rare and beautiful, must surely bring good luck." As darkness embraced the village, Adia made a silent promise to the river. "Dear river, grant me the chance to meet this silver wonder up close," she whispered. That night, under the soft glow of the moon, Adia dreamt of the fish, its scales gleaming with 1,000 colors, and when she woke, her heart was set. She would catch the silver fish, not just for luck, but to see if the river had truly heard her plea. With the dawn casting a soft light over the world, Adia hurried back to the river. She positioned herself on the bank, her eyes scanning the clear waters for any sign of the shimmering fish. She waited, holding her breath every time the water stirred, but the morning passed without a glimpse of silver. Determined not to give up, Adia cast her line again and again. As the sun climbed higher, warming her back, she felt a strange calm settle over her. It was then that the river began to whisper. At first, it was just a murmur, like the rustle of leaves in the wind, but slowly the sounds formed words. "Adia," the river seemed to say, "patience reveals deep secrets." Intrigued and a bit startled, Adia leaned closer to the water, her curiosity growing stronger. She listened intently, trying to understand what the river was telling her. The whispers grew clearer, and a soft, melodic voice emerged from the flow of the water. "Look beyond what the eyes can see," the voice advised, gentle yet resonant. It seemed to come from the heart of the river itself. Adia's eyes widened with wonder and awe. She had always felt the river was alive, and now it was speaking to her. Motivated by the river's mysterious message, Adia felt a renewed sense of purpose. She decided to stay by the river's side longer than she ever had, waiting for the silver fish and whatever other secrets the river might be willing to share. Her heart beat with excitement, and her eyes sparkled with the thrill of adventure, knowing that today was not like any other. She was on the verge of uncovering something magical. As the day waned into the golden hues of the afternoon, Adia's attention was captured by a strange flicker beneath the surface. It wasn't the silver fish, but something else, something that seemed to glow from within the depths. Adia squinted, trying to make sense of what lay below. Then, as if guided by the whispers of the river, she ventured into the water, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and excitement. The water was cooler than she expected, sending a shiver up her spine as she waded deeper. The light grew stronger, beckoning her to come closer. Adia followed, driven by an unexplainable pull. She reached the spot where the light glimmered brightest and dove underwater. Her eyes opened to a sight she could hardly believe, an entrance to a submerged palace, adorned with stones that shimmered like stars in the night sky. Realizing the breath in her lungs was waning, Adia surfaced, gasping for air. She knew she had found something extraordinary. The river had hidden a palace, perhaps ancient and forgotten, but now revealed to her. The mystery deepened, and so did her resolve to explore further. The next morning, filled with determination, Adia returned to the river with a rope tied around her waist, the other end secured to a sturdy tree on the bank. She took a deep breath and dove into the river, descending through the shimmering water to the palace entrance. Inside, the palace was both magnificent and eerie, with corridors that echoed the quiet bubbling of the river. Adia followed the path lit by the bioluminescent stones until she reached a central chamber. There, in the heart of the palace, floated a spirit, ethereal, its form flickering like a candle flame. "I am the guardian of the river," the spirit spoke, its voice a melody that resonated with the water around. "Long have I been trapped here, bound by ancient magic. Free me, and I shall grant you treasures beyond your wildest dreams." Adia listened, her mind racing with questions. "What binds you here?" she asked, her voice steady despite the awe and fear mingling in her heart. "A lock that needs a key, lost in time. Find it, and you can free me," the spirit replied, pointing towards a series of clues etched into the stone wall. Each clue seemed to be part of a riddle that spanned the realms of history and myth. Fueled by the spirit's promise and her own sense of adventure, Adia decided to take on the challenge. She would find the key and unlock the mysteries of the river, not just for the treasure, but to restore freedom to the spirit who had become her guide. Adia examined the clues on the wall closely. They were enigmatic, speaking of the moon's embrace and the sun's tears, phrases that seemed more poetic than practical. She copied them onto a piece of parchment, knowing this puzzle would require thought and perhaps research. Emerging from the river, she showed the clues to her grandmother, the village storyteller. Her grandmother's eyes lit up with recognition. "These speak of the old legends," she said, "tales of the moon goddess and the sun god, lovers separated by the horizon, but joined in the river's reflection." Intrigued, Adia listened as her grandmother recounted the stories. Each tale seemed to hold a piece of the puzzle, intertwining the celestial with the earthly. The moon's embrace could mean the nights when the moon is fullest, shining its brightest over the river, her grandmother suggested. Armed with this new knowledge, Adia planned her next visit to the submerged palace during the full moon. Maybe then, under the moon's full embrace, the next clue would reveal itself. Adia's journey grows deeper into the heart of the river's secrets, her path illuminated by the lore of her ancestors and the enigmatic guidance of the river spirit. On the night of the full moon, Adia returned to the river. The moonlight cast a silver path across the water, illuminating the entrance to the submerged palace. With her grandmother's words echoing in her heart, Adia dove into the chilly water, guided by the radiant moon above. As she swam deeper, the light seemed to dance around her, reflecting off the river's surface and penetrating the murky depths. Reaching the palace, she noticed a change. Moonlight filtered through the water, highlighting certain stones on the walls that hadn't caught her attention before. These stones glowed faintly, resonating with the moon's energy. Adia approached and saw that the stones were carved with intricate symbols, each one a testament to ancient craftsmanship. Realizing these might be the buttons the spirit's clues referred to, she touched the stones gingerly. They were cool under her fingertips, but as she pressed them, they warmed slightly, each one emitting a soft harmonic tone. The sounds blended with the river's natural murmurs, creating a symphony of whispers and chimes. Remembering the spirit's clues, Adia pressed the stones in a sequence that mimicked the phases of the moon, from new to full. She observed each symbol carefully, ensuring each press was deliberate and accurate. With the correct sequence completed, a portion of the wall slid away slowly, grating against the stone floor. Behind it, a narrow passageway opened up, dimly lit by more of the glowing stones. Her heart raced with excitement as she realized she had unlocked the first part of the riddle. The passageway beckoned her deeper into the palace's heart, promising more secrets and perhaps the key to the spirit's freedom. Adia ventured deeper into the palace, following the newly revealed passageway that led her to an area adorned with murals. Each mural depicted the sun in various stages of sorrow, setting, eclipsed, and obscured by clouds. These images resonated with the second part of the clue, the sun's tears. As she examined the murals, Adia noticed small crystals embedded in the eyes of the sun figures. The crystals caught the light, shimmering with an inner fire. She remembered her grandmother speaking of how the sun would cry for the moon, mourning their separation each dawn. Touching the crystals gently, Adia could almost feel the heat of the sun within them. She focused on a mural where the sun was fully obscured by clouds, a depiction of a rare solar phenomenon. Mimicking rainfall, she pressed the crystals in a sequence that reflected the falling rain. To her amazement, the crystal began to weep real tears, water that flowed from the stone, pooling on the floor of the palace. As the water collected, it revealed a hidden compartment embedded in the mural's base. Inside the compartment, Adia found a golden orb, pulsating with warmth and light. It was clear this was no ordinary object. It radiated a power that felt both ancient and deeply connected to the celestial forces depicted in the murals around her. Holding the orb, Adia felt a surge of understanding. The sun's tears were not just a symbol of sorrow, but also of renewal and connection. This orb was likely the key to the spirit's freedom, bound to the celestial cycles of the sun and moon. Energized by her discovery, she prepared to bring the orb to the spirit, hopeful that it would satisfy the conditions of the ancient magic that bound it. Returning to the central chamber with the orb in hand, Adia found the river spirit awaiting her. The spirit's form flickered like a flame in the water, its appearance more defined than before, as if her progress had strengthened it. "You have done well, Adia," the spirit said, its voice echoing through the water and stone with a clarity that filled the chamber. "But to prove your worth and complete your quest, a greater challenge lies ahead. This orb is indeed the key to my freedom, but it must be activated under precise conditions, during the solar eclipse at the confluence of the river's two tributaries." Adia listened intently, absorbing every word. The challenge was daunting. The confluence was a day's journey upstream, and the next solar eclipse was mere days away. The timing was tight, and the journey would be fraught with unknowns. "Will you undertake this journey, Adia?" the spirit asked, its tone both hopeful and serious. Adia nodded, her resolve firm. "I will," she replied. "The river has been my home and my provider. Freeing you is my way of giving back to it." With the spirit's instructions clear in her mind, Adia prepared for the journey. She gathered supplies, secured the golden orb in her pack, and set out at dawn the next day. The path to the confluence was less traveled, winding through dense forests and over rugged hills. Along the way, Adia encountered various creatures of the forest, some curious, others cautious, but all part of the rich tapestry of the river's ecosystem. As she neared the confluence, Adia's thoughts were a mix of excitement and nervousness. The eclipse would be her only chance to free the spirit. The weight of her task was heavy, but her determination was unwavering. The journey to the confluence was a testament to Adia's connection to the river and her commitment to the task at hand. As she moved through the forest, the sounds of the river seemed to guide her, the rushing water, a constant companion, whispering encouragement. Midway through her journey, Adia encountered a tribe of river people, known as the Guardians of the Waters. They were a nomadic group who revered the river as a sacred entity. Upon learning of Adia's mission, they welcomed her with open arms, intrigued by the presence of the golden orb and her story of the trapped spirit. The tribe's elder, a wise woman named Makina, shared tales of the confluence's history. It was a place of powerful magic, where the energies of the river were most concentrated. Makina explained that the confluence was often the site of rituals and celebrations, particularly during celestial events like eclipses. Adia spent a night with the tribe, participating in their preparations for the upcoming eclipse. They taught her a ceremonial dance meant to honor the river and its spirits, and she shared her own stories of life in Soma. The exchange of culture and knowledge strengthened the bond between Adia and the river people, uniting them in their respect for nature. As dawn broke the day of the eclipse, Adia, accompanied by several members of the tribe, set out for the final leg of her journey. They reached the confluence by midday, the river's mighty waters meeting with a sound like thunder. The place was charged with an energy that Adia could feel tingling in her bones. The tribe set up a ritual space by the water's edge, marking it with symbols and stones. Adia placed the orb at the center, its golden surface catching the light of the slowly dimming sun. As the eclipse began, the tribe's chants rose in a crescendo, and Adia felt the moment of truth was near. As the eclipse reached its peak, the sky darkened, and the confluence seemed to hold its breath. Adia stood at the water's edge, the golden orb before her, pulsing with the energy it had absorbed from the murals in the submerged palace. The river people continued their chanting, a deep, rhythmic sound that resonated with the natural world around them. The water at the confluence stirred, swirling around the orb as if the river itself was awakening to the significance of the moment. Adia watched, her heart racing, as the orb began to glow brighter with each passing second of the eclipse. The air around her vibrated with power, and the water's surface shimmered with waves of energy. It was as if the sun and moon, despite their celestial battle above, were conspiring to release the spirit from its ancient bonds. Suddenly, the orb erupted in a column of light that pierced the sky, cutting through the darkness of the eclipse. The light was blinding, and Adia shielded her eyes, but she could feel the heat and the force of the release as the energy surged upward. As the light reached its zenith, the atmosphere shifted. The eclipse lightened, the moon slowly unveiling the sun, and the column of light from the orb began to dissipate. In its place, floating just above the confluence, appeared the river spirit, now fully manifest, its form clear and strong. The spirit looked down at Adia, its expression one of profound gratitude. "You have done well, brave girl," it said, its voice now a powerful surge that filled the air. "Your courage and resolve have freed me from my bonds." The tribe fell silent, awestruck by the display of magic and the transformation of the spirit. Adia felt a rush of relief and joy. Her journey had been long and fraught with challenges, but she had succeeded. As the spirit floated above the confluence, it began to transform, its shape becoming more ethereal and less bound to the water. It radiated a serene light, bathing the area in a gentle glow. The spirit looked upon Adia and the gathered tribe with kindness in its eyes. "Thank you, Adia," it continued. "For your bravery and spirit, I shall grant you treasures from the depths of the river, tokens of my gratitude that will bring prosperity to your village." With a wave of its hands, the spirit summoned the treasures it had promised. From the depths of the river, items began to surface: ancient pottery, jewels that sparkled with an inner fire, and rare coins from civilizations long past. Among these treasures, the spirit also included a special gift for Adia, a pendant crafted from the same glowing stones that had guided her in the palace. "This pendant will protect you and bring you good fortune," the spirit said as it floated the pendant down to Adia. She caught it gently, feeling its warmth in her hands. It was a tangible connection to the river and the spirit she had freed. With the spirit's freedom, the waters at the confluence calmed, flowing peacefully as if they too were celebrating the liberation. The river people cheered, embracing Adia and thanking her for bringing such fortune and honor to their sacred place. As the spirit prepared to leave, it turned to Adia once more. "Remember, the river is a part of you, and you are a part of it. Protect it as you would your own family, and it will always sustain you." With those final words, the spirit dissolved into the air, its form scattering into a cascade of light that rained down into the river, leaving behind a trail of luminescent sparkles. Adia watched, her heart full, knowing she had changed the course of her life and that of her village forever. As Adia approached her village, the familiar sights and sounds of Soma welcomed her. The villagers had gathered at the riverbank, their faces alight with anticipation. Cheers erupted as they saw her, the girl who had ventured into the heart of the river's secrets. Her family rushed to her side, embracing her with tears and laughter, proud of the bravery and wisdom she had shown. Over the next few weeks, Adia used the treasures she had brought back to enrich her village. She funded the construction of a new school and introduced better tools for fishing. The pendant she wore became a symbol of her deep connection to the river, a bond celebrated by all in Soma. But one evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a crimson glow over the river, Adia heard a new whisper. This was not the familiar, gentle murmur of the river. It was a sharper, more urgent call. She stood up, her eyes scanning the horizon where the river bent toward the ancient woods, an area unexplored and rumored to be home to old spirits and forgotten gods. The whisper grew into a voice. Adia, guardian of the river's secrets, new challenges await where the water meets the shadows. Her heart quickened. The river was calling her again, not just to protect, but to explore deeper mysteries that lay beyond the known waters of Soma. The pendant around her neck glowed softly, affirming her destiny as a protector of more than just her village. As the sky darkened and the first stars appeared, Adia felt the weight of her new responsibility and the thrill of upcoming adventures. She knew her journey was far from over. Indeed, it was just beginning. The river had more secrets to reveal, and Adia was the key to unlocking them. What lay in the ancient woods? What new legends awaited discovery? Only the river knew, and it was calling her to find out. Did you enjoy the mystical adventure of Adia and the secrets of the river? There is so much more to discover, and many more stories to tell. Subscribe to our channel and join our community. It's completely free. Don't miss our upcoming stories full of magic, mystery, and lessons from the heart of the river. Click the bell icon to be notified every time we release a new adventure so you don't miss a moment. Share your thoughts. What do you think is in store for Adia? What whispers might the river have in store next? Comment below, we love to hear from you. Like and share this video so more adventurers can join our journey. The more the merrier as we explore the enchanting world of African folktales together. Thanks for watching, and remember, each story brings us closer to the wonders of our world. Subscribe to us and dive into the adventure.